I'm Dr. Paul Alexander, and what an honor and privilege to be working and speaking on Mr. Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthcast. America is the greatest nation on earth and worth saving. And I would like you to support Gene Valentino. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again.
Hi folks, Kent Emmons here, founder and CEO of Crave News. There's a big market for a news network that targets a younger audience by serving up real news in a way that's raw, edgy, and unfiltered. Crave News is about to launch, and this is your opportunity to become a founding shareholder. Get ready to write down this number, and I'll text you a link to more information. Become a founding shareholder in Crave News and own a piece of the next generation of news. Call 615-819-5535. Crave News, real news. No BS.
All right, everyone, I want to head back stateside. So we want to turn to the latest in the Charlie Kirk murder. So the 22-year-old suspect is being charged with murder and could be facing the death penalty. So for more on this, let's bring in GOP political strategist and insider and host of the Grassroots Truthcast, Gene Valentino, as well as former Ohio congressman and former House Intelligence Committee member, Bob McEwen. Gentlemen, good morning. Wow, we certainly heard a lot yesterday. Prosecutors laying out their evidence in great detail yesterday, including just a very peculiar text exchange between the suspect and then his live-in trans partner, where he confesses to the crime, saying, quote, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out." Bob, I have a lot of questions about these texts. They were so specific, and they gave so many details about exactly what he was doing. He talked about just literally, do you remember, quote unquote, do you remember when I was engraving bullets? He gave just so much detail. What did you make of these very interesting text messages that were sent between these two?
Well, Alex, I think we all share the hurt that those who hate truth, to them, truth sounds like hate. And the very idea, if there was a word that summed up Charlie Kirk, it was love. Love for God, love for his country, love for his family. And for those that live in this dark world of hate, they tell themselves things that just have nothing to do with the truth. And it's so sad to see some of the political commentators that are doing the same thing on the networks. But we fortunately have a system that I believe that this murderer is going to pay the price, but the nation has been severely, severely injured from taking from us such a wonderful man.
Yeah, the nation, and not only our nation, but the entire world really seems to be completely affected. Charlie Kirk was just a fantastic person who did not spread hate. But Gene, by all accounts, it seems like the suspect grew up in a Republican household with a relatively normal upbringing. But it just seems like, according to witnesses, according to relatives, just in the past couple of years, he became very radicalized. He was super into this online gaming community. You had a neighbor coming out and said that this Tyler Robinson, the alleged suspect, never really left his house. We really need to have a conversation, Gene, about what is going on, especially to these young men online and becoming radicalized.
Well, it causes us to take into consideration the future use and application of social media, the future scope of oversight on education, and it causes us to think more clearly what we're going to tolerate both in the classroom and in the world. I mean, this is all happening. We're talking about this on Constitution Day, where we're supposed to be celebrating a federally mandated requirement to teach more about our Constitution in the classroom in all public school systems. And we're seeing a bad behavior get away with it up to now, but the silent majority is bucking against the George Soros left elements that have tried to cause this country to get eaten from within, and it's about to stop.
Yeah. I mean, we heard, from people coming out and saying we've had enough. I mean, we have been silent. Like you said, people I've seen on social media say, I've never spoken about politics. I've never spoken about my Christianity, but I've had enough. And here I am. I have a platform just like Charlie Kirk did. FBI Director Kash Patel also testifying in front of the Senate yesterday. So let's take a listen to him discuss just some of the suspects' online activity.
There was a Discord chat, and for those unfamiliar with it, it's a gaming chat room online that the suspect participated in. We're also going to be investigating anyone and everyone involved in that Discord chat.
The Discord thread had as many as 20 additional users. It sounds like you're trying to run down all of that to see if that's accurate. Who else may have been on that thread, what they may have known. Is that fair to say?
It's a lot more than that, and we're running them all down.
It's a lot more than 20?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Bob, that was quite the bombshell. I was speaking to Josh Hawley there. More than 20 individuals that they are now looking at. Of course, I would assume they're also looking at this trans partner, live-in roommate, Lance Twigg. When did he know? How much did he know? Who all knew? Again, you think about this Reddit community, the Discord community, and just how widespread it is. How do you think this all plays out?
Well, Alex, as you well know, that Charlie often referred to truth. And our founders said, John Adams, that our Constitution was made for a moral and a religious people. It's wholly inadequate to the government of any other. And when people abandon, the first sign is life. When you're willing to take innocent life. And from then, you no longer have truth. And so then you can tell that a boy is a girl. And these things they get into this spiral of having lost a relationship with God that then our nation was founded upon, and God we trust, swearing allegiance on the Bible, to take a position of public trust, to have a standard. Once you abandon that and you rely upon people who are lost, then we see this total chaos that ensues, and invariably it leads to death.
Yeah, and I mean, if people do not believe in God and believe that they won't be judged at the end of the day, what do they have to lose? Gene, I want your reaction to Kash Patel's comments about them looking into more than 20 people and just how widespread they really think that this is.
He stands before people who have caused President Trump and himself and others great harm in this nation. These elected officials are part of the poison that has been fermenting these things that now appear before us to mourn over, including the death of Charlie Kirk. I think Kash Patel did a great job yesterday at nailing Cory Booker and what's wrong with the other person? Just they're both very much. Yeah, thank you. He stood his ground, and he did so well. It's a shame he had to do it, though, because the very elected people who are throwing this assault against Kash Patel are the same people who should be worrying about what they were elected to do to help you and me, the citizens, not defend their right for a re-election and their funding source for that re-election. The shoe's on the wrong foot, and this term limits need to come back to eliminate and admonish the Adam Schiffs of the world.
Yeah, you make such good points. I mean, we've seen so many of these Democrat representatives just come out and really call for violence. They're the ones installing hate. We could list off a million examples of all of this. And again, this was not what Charlie Kirk stood for. He stood for unity.
Alex,
go ahead.
Can I just add one more thing? That's exactly correct. What Charlie would do is he would say, tell me your side of the argument. Let me hear what you have to say.
Yep.
And they cannot justify what they do when they take over a city or a school board and the chaos that ensues. And so then they immediately go to name calling. You're a Nazi, you're a fascist, and you can see that in these senators who should know better. When they couldn't respond to Kash, they immediately went to just yelling and screaming. And it's a shame that we have people like that in the United States.
Yeah, because they couldn't eloquently have any kind of rebuttal like Charlie Kirk could.
Well, that's how you get Tyler Robinsons of the world, is when these elected officials inflame fan the flame.
Absolutely. Gene, Valentino, Bob McEwen, gentlemen, thank you so much for a fantastic conversation this morning.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Hi folks, Kent Emmons here, founder and CEO of Crave News. There's a big market for a news network that targets a younger audience by serving up real news in a way that's raw, edgy, and unfiltered. Crave News is about to launch, and this is your opportunity to become a founding shareholder. Get ready to write down this number, and I'll text you a link to more information. Become a founding shareholder in Crave News and own a piece of the next generation of news. Call 615-819-5535. Crave News, real news, no BS.